Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This could easily be a short, but we'll see how much time I get out of it. The question is, was Jim Carrey ever any good? I know a lot of people say Jim Carrey fell off the top of whatever he was on top of and has never recovered. And I've heard other people say that he evolved as an actor. He's definitely successful, but the question is, was he ever any good? So let's go through his 90s hits because I'm not going to talk about, Spotless Mind or whatever the fuck it's called, or anything he's done since, because I have no interest in any of it. I've seen some of his newer stuff. It just doesn't appeal to me. So his earliest movie is a B movie, a decidedly B movie. Not his first film, I don't think for sure, but one of his earliest films was Once Bitten. I think he's passable in Once Bitten. I'd give him that. It worked. It works as a movie. I like it. I enjoy it. Um, his claim to fame were the two Ace Ventura movies, and then he did Dumb and Dumber, and then The Cable Guy. He also did Liar Liar. So let's take them one at a time. Let's talk about Ace Ventura first. The first movie is rubbish. It was funny in like 1990 whenever it came out, but it was problematic when it came out. But as a trans woman, I cannot watch that movie anymore because it is sickening to see how people react to a trans woman in that movie. Um, Even though I don't know if I would really say she's a true trans woman, which is also problematic because she transitioned not because she had a feminine side or was suffering from gender dysphoria or whatever terminology you want to use. Just using the terms from back in the day when the movie was made. She would have been referred to as a transvestite, which is a word we do not use. That's our word. We can use it. You can't. And we avoid it at all costs. It's just like queer and faggot. That's our word. So, do not say those words unless you're in our community. The movie's very fucking dated and very fucking problematic. But she transitioned to cover up who she was, not because she had gender dysphoria, which is problematic. She's not a true trans woman, but it's the way people react to her. It's just gross. It makes me angry. Ace Ventura 2 is also rubbish, but for different reasons, just because it's not funny at all. Dumb and Dumber is God's gift to humanity. It is the greatest fucking comedy ever made. I will die on that hill. And Jim Carrey was a fucking comedy god in that movie. So yes, he was good. He was good in Dumb and Dumber. Great, excellent, fantabulous in Dumb and Dumber. He was passable in Once Bitten. Um, he was funny in Ace Ventura, but the movie was problematic. He sucked in Ace Ventura, or he went Ace Ventura 2. He went too far with the sequel. Liar Liar, not a good movie. I never liked that movie. He's too over the top for me in that movie. I don't like Cable Guy. It's uncharacteristic of him, and I was not a fan of it. I have mixed feelings about Me, Myself, and Irene. It's also problematic and dated, but for different reasons. But I don't want to talk about that movie because it's very icky and I don't like it. The next one that he was famous for was The Truman Show. Now, when he did The Truman Show, a lot of people point to this as the point where he crossed over and fell from grace. And I say that because they refer to The Grinch, which came out like 1 or 2 years later, just a couple years later, as his return to form. And then he did Bruce Almighty. So let's talk about The Truman Show. He's a fine actor in The Truman Show, and The Truman Show is a very good movie, but also kind of prophetic in a way for where we are today, but also very dated for the time. But I enjoy The Truman Show. It's not my favorite Jim Carrey movie, but it's okay. He's fine in that. I love The Grinch. I think I've already talked about The Grinch on my favorite holiday movies video, which you can find on this channel. I love The Grinch that Jim Carrey did. I love his performance in that. And I really liked Bruce Almighty. he was a bit over the top for me in that movie, but not too over the top. And I was fine with it. That was the end of his career as far as I'm concerned. That was the last good movie he made. So was Jim Carrey ever any good? Yes, there was a time where Jim Carrey was good, but it was a short window in the 90s, and that was it. And then he just fell from grace and has not been good since, I would argue. So, and I refuse to watch Dumb and Dumber 2 because I have no need for it. I don't want to ruin the first movie, and I made the mistake of trying to watch the Dumb and Dumber and don't watch that fucking movie. Don't even bother. Don't waste your time. No, I skipped over the mask. I'm probably gonna do a whole video dedicated to the mask because I could talk a lot about that movie. But he's great in the mask as well, so I'll mention that real quick. He probably did some other movies that I missed, but whatever. He was good in the '90s, but not anymore. Stay cool.